Video conferencing platforms have become an essential part of our lives, but often leave us fatigued and disengaged. We aim to explore which, if any, type of real-time emoji reactions, visual, audio, or none, will result in the greatest viewer engagement. Our first hypothesis is that OA participants using audio-only or visual-only emoji reactions exhibit better skill and performance engagement than participants not using any reactions. Our second hypothesis is that audio reactions enhance the engagement of participants more than visual-only reactions do. For our study, we gave the same informational presentation following the exact same script in 3 OA rooms, one for each condition. There were 4 people in each room, and we balanced the amount of OA experience users had evenly between rooms. We recorded the number of times each participant spoke, typed in the chat, and used reactions. To assess participants' engagement, we had them take a survey, which also included a quiz after they saw the presentation, and we also had a short group discussion. So left here is the reaction interface for the audio-only room, and here on the bottom is the reaction interface for the visual-only room. Here are the 4 dimensions of engagement that we were studying. So for skills engagement, we measured how hard users worked and how motivated they were to learn the material. No users ever unmuted to ask questions about the material. Users rated how motivated they were to learn the material and do well on the quiz. On average, the visual room showed the greatest motivation and the no reactions room the least. However, like in the pilot studies, motivation varies greatly between individuals. Both the highest and lowest scores came from the no reaction room. Error bars on this graph and other graphs in this presentation represent range. We conducted a single-factor ANOVA test and found that the effect of emoji type of motivation was not significant. We are interested in whether it remains significant as we add more users. Next, we looked at performance engagement, which is defined as assessment outcomes. Thus, we compared quiz results for users across rooms. On average, users in the visual-only room outperformed users in the other 2 rooms. Our ANOVA test on the effect of emoji type and quiz score, considering all 3 rooms, showed that the effect was trending but not significant with a p-value of 0.07. However, when we conducted an ANOVA test on the effect of emoji type when only considering audio and visual rooms, we found that the visual room yielded significantly better quiz results than the audio room. Third, we evaluated emotional engagement by measuring people's interest and investment in our presentation topic. People rated how likely they were to look up more information on the presentation topic on their own. On average, the highest ratings were from the visual-only room. However, all groups showed wide ranges. Our ANOVA test validated our result from our pilot that differences between groups with regards to emotional engagement are not significant. For participation engagement, we measured how actively viewers interacted with each other. No reaction users reacted only passively, making facial expressions. They never used the chat or spoke up, although one user laughed once. They also all reported not feeling connected to each other because they couldn't interact with each other. They also mentioned that because the presentation did not include structured interaction time like breakout discussions, they had no incentive to interact with one another actively. Perhaps having no emoji reactions makes interactions less spontaneous and more dependent on structured interaction time. Visual-only users wanted to use each other's facial reactions to connect with each other, but found that the faces were too small to gauge emotions. They liked that emoji reactions allowed them to react without interrupting the presenter, but the users did not use any emoji reactions during the presentation, and users all reported not feeling particularly connected to one another. The audio users loved the reactions. They all said that they felt connected with each other because they were all using and laughing at the reactions. However, they said that the audio reactions, while fun, might be distracting. The audio room used reactions far more than the other rooms. Since our study intentionally preserved the anonymity of reactions, we did not have data on how often each individual used reactions. Thus, we could not perform an ANOVA analysis on this data. Since either one person or no one used the chat in each room, we also could not perform an ANOVA analysis on this data. So visual-only users showed significantly higher performance engagement than audio-only users, as well as higher performance engagement than no reaction users, meaning their quiz scores. Visual-only users also showed slightly higher emotional engagement than users in both other rooms. Thus, it is possible that emotional engagement positively correlates with performance engagement regardless of emoji type. We will investigate this as we continue to gather data. So the audio-only room showed the highest use of reactions and overall participation engagement by far. There was no reaction use at all in the other 2 rooms. This suggests that audio reactions support spontaneous interaction more than other reaction types do. The higher participation engagement in the audio room emphatically led to users feeling more connected with each other. We will recruit 12 more users to run each room once more. This will help reduce confounding variables like social norms that certain people might create in their rooms. We will investigate whether OA experience affects engagement.